Hello everybody, it is Narrative Tarot. I'm here with Jupiter May 2021 tarot reading. Yeah. So this reading is one for those who may have significant transits or aspects in their chart with regards to Jupiter. So, yeah, that's how that goes. It could be Sagittarius, but since I do it more by planet than Jupiter. But, you know, if you have significant Sag kind of placements, then go for it. Or Pisces, because it's exalted. What is it? Yeah, it used to be traditional ruler of Pisces. Okay, so generally I do 2 readings. The first one's going to be with the Fountain Tarot. You can comment, like, subscribe, please. If you like the content, commenting, liking it just populates the video more. Lets people know that because it's recommended, it's something that's probably helpful, informational, useful, relevant. And then, you know, building up a community in the comments. And so subscribing keeps you in the loop. I do these planet readings, I do other readings, book reviews, things like that. I also have a blog called The Red. It's a woman womb and space. But I mean, anybody can check it out. But if you're interested in content for that, check it out. You can go to the About page and click on the link to the blog. I've written Scorpio, full moon information, and Mars and Cancer information. So if you want to look at those, check those out. I'll link it in the description box as well. But let's get started. Okay. Reading for Jupiter. So we have the upper world and lower world. The upper world is 4 of Cups reversed. The lower world is Magician. So with this, starting new things may not be so great at this time. I think there's some clearing out to manifest. So I was gonna put a video on here about cleaning out my car, but I was just like, is it relevant? Anyway, but cleansing out things, putting forth effort with regards to wiping things clear, it's just really helpful in May of 2021, especially for Jupiter. Something that requires you to kind of expand and open yourself up. If you feel any sort of constraints or ties or shit like that, it really is kind of hard to receive anything when you're closed off, when you have walls and shit like that. That's with anything. That's emotionally, that's with relationships, that's financially, things like that. So that 4 of Cups reverse is really helpful. It's almost like the Magician is looking at, like, you're not going to get it until you do it. It don't matter. So I would definitely suggest clearing out old shit, doing things like that. I was thinking, okay, so with regards, it's 11/11. With regards to like consciousness and stuff like that, you may have like Jupiter in Pisces or Jupiter in the 12th house or Pisces in the 9th house, something like that. With this, it's kind of like if you give things away, you'll kind of transcend their usefulness or transcend what they were meant to. It's almost like, it feels like it's a really noble cause to give things up, to sacrifice. It's almost like you get the reward of having used the object, then you get the reward of having released the object, and the object itself imparts a reward, and then the universe imparts a reward for you as well. That's how it feels. So if you give stuff away, okay, so you give it away, so you get rewarded for like having released it and making sure that you release things that no longer served you. Then the object itself, because it's like, thank you for passing me on, thank you for your time, here's some more energy that I'm going to give you or impart to you, or I'll put a good word in for you wherever I go energetically. And then universe is like, oh, that person released stuff, we're going to reward them with something new as well. It's like you get rewards from the communication or the signal from these objects and from spirit that like, hey, she like released some energy, like she released some shit, like let's reward her. And particularly on the object side, it's like when you give things away that mean a lot to you, it's almost like the object itself is like tearing up. Like you could be tearing up, but energetically the object could be tearing up because it knows that like, damn, like we really were together for like a really long time. I'm into psychometry, so I know this took like a whoop, like a left turn really quick, but that's how it feels. It feels like when objects, they no longer serve you, but like they were happy to like see. It's almost like they see you grow as well, and so they're kind of like happy that you get to grow out of their usefulness, but they kind of are fond of the experience. And it's kind of like, it almost seems like whenever you have a thought of like that object, it's like it's pinging back that experience, it's sending you back that like that connection. And so this is something I've been saying with Pisces energy. It's like timelines get screwed up when you keep things longer than they need to. It's almost like you're supposed to be on another parallel track, but you like moved over. And when you give things away, your timeline becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. Your energy becomes clearer, clearer and clearer. But it's almost like you seal off that time frame, right, by closing off the cycle, by not having the things physically around you. But it's almost like when you heal and grow and develop, you can get that reverberation, that energetic reverberation back from that timeline that you existed. So it can go into past lives, like when you heal stuff here in the now, like you'll reverb that energy back into your past life, but then it'll like come back to you in some like insight or some like things like that. Like that's what I feel like Jupiter is helping you. So you're dealing with like the highest like octave of Jupiter. Even though I think Jupiter is actually exalted in Cancer, but Pisces was traditionally had it as a ruler. But it's like that timeline is really that timeline is, it's like it exists. You and the time that you share with that thing or person or whatever, like exist on their own, and it's like healing sends energy to that, and then it's kind of like that consciousness, even though you're not there anymore energetically, you know, it can't be destroyed. So it kind of rewires itself, because it's like you're also rewiring things in your mind, and so you're rewiring things in your mind. They're not painful, stuff like that. Like that shift helps. For some of you guys, I feel like you felt that kind of energy. It's almost like a jolt or something. It's a jolt or high, or I mean a high, not as in the word hi or hello. Like a jolt or a high, or just a little tingle or something like that. Like just a little bit. Your heart may have been like boom, like there may be just like a feeling of that. It's not related to like melancholy or anything like that, but it may feel like it bursts open for a minute, as far as like energetically burst open. Like that's you unlocking like another level, but being able to receive energy from timelines without being there and without taking on the baggage of it. It's like sending healing, it reverberating back, and you moving forward continually and not staying there to get the reverberation back is also a form of showing that you've healed, right? Like, if you're sitting in meditation and you're sending energy back to your past life, like, you can sit there, but I mean, like, you would do better to get up and live your life and go with that new understanding or that release work or that light load, you know what I'm saying? And as you walk and you move and you have new perspectives and gain things, you'll get that energy back. You'll get paid back. Your past life or the timeline that you're trying to heal will send that energy back to you. It's not negative energy. It's a thank you. Like, it's a genuine thank you. And this is so weird. We've gone left. If you've like stuck with me this far, congrats. But that's what it feels like. It feels like a thank you. It feels like a thank you for releasing things. You may see visions of it. Visions of what I'm talking about, like as far as past life, or even mentioning the object, having the object in mind or something like that. It's almost like also like Harry Potter, where like there's these Horcruxes and stuff like that, and it's like it's not destroying things, it's just kind of transmuting. Well, I guess you would say it's transmuting in that too, but transmuting that energy. And it's like you can just feel it. You can feel when it's been transmuted. You can feel when you finally released enough to let that timeline be that timeline, but also have that energy come back to you, which is in the form of like wisdom, which is in the form of like happiness, which is in the form of general like warnings, like you've been here before, you know the lesson, which falls under wisdom and knowledge, and but an openness to receive and a willingness to receive and a willingness to move on, So your highest vibration is to stay open. You won't receive any newness until you're able to do that, until you're able to kind of move forward. And so trying to make something new isn't going to help. I already had a freak out about trying to make something work that did not work. You have the 10 of Wands at the bottom and the 7 of Swords under that. This may be a particularly painful like May for you, just because you may be having, because Scorpio is coming through with the full moon, right? And so that energy is kind of going to reverberate, and then you'll have other things going on with the top one. Other things that are going on, 6 of Cups and 9 of Cups. So there's other things that are going to be going on emotionally, but I feel like it's a lot of ways you can transmute. It's a lot of things you can transmute. I think if you want to go into May, you can pick things that you can transmute for the month and then work on them, and then we'll go, you'll go from there. But it's a great time to be open, and it may be things that are particularly tricky or deceptive, or the ones that have, with these 3 cards down here, the 6 of Cups looks like a portal to me. Portals that you get stuck in. You might want to watch Neptune 2021, May 2021, but going into portals, clearing out the energy and then leaving, not staying there and not expecting to manifest something new. Because the 7 of Swords here could also be what you think you're going to manifest new isn't what you're going to manifest that's new. It doesn't mean that it's going to be like something shocking or harsh or evil or negative. It's just the healing that you expect may not be the healing that you expect. Like, the healing that you get is not the healing that you expect. And so being open to it is helpful. So that's a word kind of to everybody, because Jupiter rules like higher perspective and higher mind and things like that. And making sure that you are clear and open and you are just living and learning. And when you do this sort of work, you know, you go into it with the intent of giving it your all, but not with the intent of you have to get something back in a specific way. But a few of you guys will be letting go of objects. I know I'm about to clear out my whole like fucking closet and everything, because I'm like, this is just disgusting. like, oh god, like this is just disgusting. Anyway, so this is going to be kind of like the second part of the reading, and then we'll incorporate the other deck. Let's see how much time. Oh, 16. Okay, not bad, not bad. This may be one of the longer readings as well as we wrap up the month. So, yeah. Three. So we have the Five of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Nine of Wands. So I'm kind of like in my mind, the time is now. And then we have the Devil. So you are walking up that staircase to meet the Devil. I don't think you want to do it. What's under here? The Nine of Coins and the Sun. 10 Cups. Nice. You're walking to meet the Devil. So be prepared. I kind of feel like you think the Devil is something. Okay. So with Jupiter, you feel really, it's almost like your shame is expansive and restrictive. Like it's very vast, it's very wide, it's very all-encompassing, and it's very restrictive. And so you may be avoiding doing certain work because you feel really caught unawares, or you feel like the work is kind of heavier than you expect. I think you may have an afflicted Jupiter right now. Like natally, your Jupiter where it is in opposition to something, and so you may feel like quite restricted in some way. So the Devil is, they have bondage to indulgence. The forces, I rarely read these books, child, but I guess we gonna read it. The forces in life that genuinely move us forward are not always black and white. They are complex and powered by fearsome and sometimes dangerous energy. The Devil card is not about evil. It is about the forces of desire, indulgence, and abandon. Natural human qualities that flow in both directions, resulting in either growth and freedom or bondage and addiction. The solution is extreme honesty with yourself and an assessment of what is actually needed. Surrender, commitment, restraint. The qualities themselves do not enslave us. Only we can do that. Meaning, and then like colon. A choice between indulgence and restraint, a loss of one's sense of self, undisciplined behavior, codependent relationship, limited by shoulds and doctrines. Reversal, quote, so if it was in reverse, removed obstacles, controlled energy, emancipation, a clear direction. I think you're scared of approaching the Devil because you feel like, one, with this Nine of Wands, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be like, you gotta fight like hell to like defeat it. But then also like, it's all encompassing. I don't know if there's a feeling, it doesn't feel like a feeling of, I deserve this. But it's just it's like a shame kind of thing. So I'm going to do the Five of Cups as well. I don't really feel like I need to read these, but I feel like the Devil and the Five of Cups. Because you start your journey with the Five of Cups, and you're going up the steps to meet this Devil. And so it's like the mindset before you do this. And this is a part of that, you have to open yourself up. You know? I think Mars and Cancer might be afflicting everyone. Mars and Cancer might be afflicting everyone. Where is Jupiter at? I don't know if Jupiter's still in Aquarius. I don't think so. I think it may have moved into Pisces. Or even Aries. I'm not sure. But it feels like we should be a little bit more expanded than this. Okay. In the midst of dark clouds and an emotional storm, a struggle rages over spilled cups. The loss is real and irretrievable, and to move beyond it, he must feel the sorrow fully and candidly. If he does not, he will lose himself in wallowing in exhaustion. And the Five of Cups, the tug towards disillusionment is strong, but being thoughtful and gentle in this moment will put the past in the past where it belongs. The cups will fill again, and the storm will pass. Feel the pain and keep one foot on solid ground, meaning significant but only partial loss, despair, regret, flaws or imperfections, a possible end to a relationship. Reversal, a new experience of equilibrium, new partnerships, the hopeful future, cheerful attitude, emotional growth. So there's this idea that the growth is going to require, it's almost like you're putting it off because the path, child, that's probably for me. What you think you're going to have to do isn't what you're going to actually have to do. It's not as hard as it seems. So it's not as hard as it seems. You have Pisces on your side, which means you can be quite boundless, and that's really helpful. Yeah, quite helpful. So making sure that when you're walking up there, it's almost like the closer you get to the actual root of it, the tighter your chest becomes. But it's like you need to keep it open, one, because if you are going to be fighting energies, then you need oxygen. You need to be oxygenated. You need to be able to fully breathe and fight. But it's more like you need to be fully open to fully breathe. You need to expand your lungs, and that expansion of lungs is the expansion of going beyond fear, of going beyond chaos, of going beyond yourself. So if you're someone, I breathe quite shallowly. I'm not like a kind of person, but maybe we all need to start doing that because that might help us. Actually, breathing deeply, because it's like that intention of actually breathing is really what's keeping us open. It's like it refuses to shut down, it refuses to stop. So I would say breathe deeper, breathe slower, breathe fuller, and the issues will probably go away. Now let's get to the last part, which is pulling a card from this. It's called the Oracle of John D. And that's what it looks like. Ta-da! Okay. So we're going to pull one card. Here's the card for Jupiter, May 2021. You have the Green Astronomer, Nicholas Copernicus. So let's read that. What Green Astronomer means. Astronomer. So Green Astronomer, The green astronomer, represented by Nicolaus Copernicus, the first astronomer to effectively state that the sun did not revolve around the earth but vice versa. D was certainly familiar with the work of Copernicus and made extensive use of his astronomical calculations, but he never openly espoused the heliocentric theory, which is still regarded as heretical. Like D, Copernicus was a mathematician, astronomer, physician, as well as a diplomat and economist. Within the context of the oracle, Copernicus speaks to the hidden connections between events that can often go unnoticed. So these are some questions that, these are questions that you can ask, and these are things. Oracle of the West. Inspiration clings to you, but are you making it welcome? It's all too easy to find yourself caught up in a situation where your ideas are drained of meaning and strength by outside forces. Keep focused on your dreams and do all you can to set them in motion. Take heed of loss of energy or sudden dullness in a relationship. You may have a root cause you are ignoring. Look for the signs that will help you see more clearly where you're going and what you really want. And the question is, what would your life look like with inspiration at its heart? Then we have another. It's 5 of these. So yeah. So if your work affects others, because this is the work position. If your work affects others, be sure it is as pure and clear as you can make it. Don't forget that others may look up to you or rely on your strengths and abilities to further your own work. You are not alone in what you do, even if you work or live in a competitive environment. Remember that everything is interconnected in some way. Thus, your work is not only for you, and your life not lived for yourself alone. How does your life or work affect others? With health and well-being. Don't try to manage everything single-handedly. Accept offers of help from others, or if necessary, ask for it. Those who make themselves bastions of strength and determination can easily run out of energy and find themselves suffering from ill health or lack of motivation. Be aware of your limitations and pace yourself accordingly. Those who take things one step at a time are more likely to arrive at their destination. When did you last ask for help? Who can support you now? And the intention direction area. When planning your future, always look at what your intentions really are. Don't think that just because you have a great idea or determination to proceed, the goal necessarily has to be a permanent one. Always have a fallback position if you are able. Changes at all kinds of unforeseeable levels can alter everything in a moment. Don't cling too hard to the past or the present if the future offers change. What has changed since you first thought of the idea and the central goal and position? Whatever unexpected turns life has in store for you, there are always new ways to see the path ahead. You may think you understand every aspect of your life, but there could be things that are less obvious and obscured by sight, by circumstance, or situation. Look for the hidden links between events, and you will find that your problems are less serious than you thought. That's what I said. If you think that you're facing this devil and it's going to whoop your ass and you just are going to be out there flat out in the ground, that's not the case. Like, Jupiter does give you, like, man, you're a lucky bastard kind of, like, energy. Like, damn, like, really, you came out of that shit? But, yeah, you'll come out of it stronger. And make sure that you are open to all possibilities. Just because Jupiter has the way, Jupiter's kind of cheeky to me, and it's kind of like, yeah, like it's going this way, and it's like it pushes you in another direction or something like that. It's not a person pushing you in front of a car. It's a banana peel tripping you up that you didn't see, and so it's kind of like laugh, lift up your energy, throw things away that no longer serve you. They'll thank you in kind for doing that, and you'll be able to close cycles of your life. You'll revert back and forth through those things as you get older and through time, as you grow and expand and change those perspectives, that energy from those experiences become wisdom. They become teaching moments. They become instinctual nudges that you understand and you follow. Self-determination, self-acceptance, it becomes all of those energies. It becomes all of those words that your energies. So it definitely helps you in the future. So nothing is in vain. The devil's not going to kick your ass. So I hope that this Jupiter May 2021 reading is helpful to you. Excuse me. And I'll see you guys next month. Take care.